Hello, and welcome to Alfonso's English. Today we're going to finish off my last reading video of my level 0 course, which is the easiest one I'm going to do. At some point, I will make an easier course, but it's going to take me months, maybe even years, in Spanish. But of course, that's only going to help Spanish students that want to learn English. For the rest of you, that's why I started in this way, just teaching directly in English with very easy videos and very easy books. But this is going to be the last reading video of that level 0 course. Then I'm going to step it up, level 1, 2, all the way to 6. Eventually, I'm going to talk about science, about philosophy, about politics. I'm going to make it really complicated, both formal English and informal. We're going to practice with stand-up comedy, with jokes, with slang, with different accents, right? But either way, that's more in the future. Today we are at the level 0, so let's move on. Without any further ado, let's go with this book called Sinbad. I've heard this guy before. I remember when I was a kid, I read some of his stories, but I don't really know too much. He's like an Arab pirate or something like that. Uh, so we see there are some snakes, and I know he's related to the ships and the oceans, but it's just an easy story. And because this is level 0, I think it's way better for students at your level to practice with comic books, not real books. Books like this, that you can actually see a lot of stuff that you can't name yet in English, right? That really makes it easier. But either way, so let's go for it, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to assume there are some words that you don't know, and I'm going to explain it, okay? And we're going to talk about pronunciation. But remember, I already have a pronunciation course on my Gumroad website where I explain every single sound of English, including the vowels, the diphthongs, the consonants. Without that, it's a little bit harder to understand what I'm going to talk about, okay? Because English doesn't have the 5 common vowels in every language. A, E, I, O, U. We have different ones like A. That's the way of English. But okay, let's go for it. So we start here, page 1. Sinbad. See, not Ia, Sinbad. Sinbad. Ah. That's the English vowel, the cat vowel. Our story begins in old Baghdad. See, the pronunciation of this should be our, but I'm not going to say that. It doesn't matter. English doesn't have a rhythm where we pronounce everything like a machine gun 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go up and down, right? So instead of our story begins in old Baghdad, our story begins in old Baghdad. A rich old man is very ill in bed. He calls to his son, Sinbad. So that's kind of easy. I think rich, a person that has a lot of money, you see all the gold and everything. Another way of saying it, which I actually like it more, it's more native like. I'm saying native like. Easy. Natives speak like this. Would be wealthy. It's a little bit better than rich. Rich tends to be more like Latin, right? So Spanish people, Italians, French used to say that, but wealthy is actually more native like. So a rich old man is very ill in bed. Ill just means sick, like you have a cold or cancer, like you could die. It's not good. He calls to his son, Sinbad. I don't like this so much. To call to, I would never say that in real life, but it means to call him to come to the bed, to come to him, right? Most people would say calls his son without to, right? Like, for example, if I'm talking to you and I want you to call someone on the phone, see, I don't say call to someone. Call John on the phone. Call him now. It's a bit more common, but okay. Now this. I'm dying, Sinbad, says the old man. You can have all my money, my son, but you must be careful with it. Something interesting is that son actually is pronounced exactly the same way as son, which is something that most people don't know. Most foreigners think this is o, as in Spanish, and this is, well, actually, no one says soon, but they just get confused, right? So most people don't know it's the same vowel. It's not. I guess most people would say son, son, or son, son, but it's son, son. It's this vowel, right? Like a Spanish o or Italian o son, which is wrong, without lips. See the difference? Son, wrong. Son, son. That's it. And it's the same for both. So at least it's a generous dad. Unlike the old pharaohs of old Egypt, ancient Egypt, that they would just keep all the money to themselves and be buried with it in the pyramids. I mean, at least it's a little bit nice. But okay. I'm dying, Sinbad, says the old man. You can have all my money, my son, but you must be careful with it. Please don't die, father, says Simba unhappily. Kind of easy. Right? Just saying, be careful, don't waste it. Right? To waste is to misuse the money, right? To throw it away like garbage, like trash, like something that doesn't matter. But okay, so see, Sinbad's father dies, and Sinbad is unhappy. And Sinbad is unhappy for a long time. But one day he thinks, I'm a very lucky man. I have a lot of money now, some beautiful things, and a big house. Okay, easy. So he's sad, another way of saying unhappy. He's depressed. I'm going to give you a big word, a word that probably you shouldn't know at this level, but just to challenge you a little. To grieve. That's when you do. When someone dies, the people that love them grieve. Okay, it's like you feel sad, you're crying, you feel depressed. That's grieving. It's like processing, right? To process their deaths. Okay. Then, with his father's money, Sinbad buys new things to wear. Easy. And expensive things to eat from the market. I mean, that's a weird thing to say. Expensive things. Food. Right? Expensive food. Luxurious food. So probably you know, I'm assuming. Luxury. And you have luxurious. Right? Luxury, luxurious. Remember, we never pronounce the OU like ooh. That's like French. We say luxurious, like this. The same as this. Not serious, serious. Enormous. Right? Not enormous, enormous. That's the way we say it. But okay. See? Every evening, Sinbad's friend come to his house. They eat and drink all night. Okay, easy. So the guy, you see, this is wasting a little bit of money. He has a lot, but he's wasting it on clothes that are really cool, probably fancy. I don't know why this book didn't use that word. It means expensive in America. In the UK, it might mean to use your imagination, to like a girl or a guy. In America, it just means expensive. A fancy car, a fancy watch, right? By the way, so he's buying fancy clothes, fancy food, and he's paying for his friend's dinner every night, right? Every evening. That's not nice. I mean, he's wasting a little bit of money, right? But okay, let's see. But after a year, only a year, Sinbad has no more money. This is very interesting because I think most people, let me type it. Most languages, right? I'm gonna change the example to something a bit easier. Like if I say, I want no more pizza. Examples are easy, so you don't get confused about that. You focus on what actually matters. This is what we say in English. It's a bit weird. Most languages would say, I don't want no more pizza. Something like that. And some people do say that in English, but this is part of the African American accent. Could also be Texas, could also be just, but whatever it is not neutral. Unrecommended. It's wrong. Okay? Now some native speakers speak like that, but we don't do that. What you want to say is, I want no more pizza. If you actually wanted to say it in a similar way, it would be, I don't want any more pizza. At least that would be neutral. But what's really common, and it's less common to foreigners, is to say this: I want, in the positive, no more pizza. It's weird because in most languages, as far as I know, Spanish, Polish, Italian, French, we say no and no. It's more negative. English is very positive, right? For example, most languages will say, I don't have no idea. Or, again, that's African American, you could say, I don't have any idea. But what we say in English, especially in American English, neutral, Californian, white, it's not about race, but you know what I mean. We say, I have no idea. See, have doesn't matter. I don't pronounce it. So I say it like this. I have no idea. Cool. So then let's move on. But after a year, Sinbad has no more money. Every day, angry shopkeepers come to Sinbad's house. Where's our money? They ask angrily. See, for example, this one? It's a bit interesting. Like, most people wouldn't say that. I would say, where's our money at? Right? Because it's a place. I mean, if I'm asking where it is it at? Just where it is? It's a bit weird to say that. Sinbad goes to the market and he sells his father's best tables and chairs. With the money, he buys some beautiful carpets. So, okay, not so difficult to sell. Probably, you know, it's hard to explain actually. But you know, if I give something to, I'm not gonna explain it. You know what it is to sell. I'm gonna give you something and you give me money for it, right? Okay. With the money, he buys some beautiful carpets. Carpet is kind of easy if you think of a Latin. When I think about a carpet, I think about a Latin, and that's the way we pronounce it. I know it's weird, but no one's gonna say Aladdin. Say that's foreign. That's like Spanish. I wouldn't say Aladdin or anything like that. It's a Latin. So nothing, big A, glottal T, and N. These are my symbols. If you don't understand them, you haven't been paying attention. You haven't watched my YouTube video about vowels, diphthongs, and consonants, and you haven't bought my gumroad.com course where I explain every single sound of English. Okay? So if you don't know that, don't complain. But I already explained that. Either way, it's very small, A, like cat. Glottal T, which is pronounced with throat, and then the end, a Latin. That's where we say it. So if you know a Latin, probably you know about the carpet ride. Right? Like this. You've seen it before. So that's a carpet. In this case, a magic carpet that allows you to fly with it. In this case, it's a regular one. But it seems, for some reason, that in the Arab world, they're obsessed with carpets. I don't understand why.